When I chose this topic, this is not the circumstance I thought I was gonna talk to you guys about it. A couple of days ago, Stephen Hawking passed away at the age of 76. While, that's not untimely or entirely unexpected, it is still very sad for me and for, us as a community of physicists and scientists, and also as somebody who's, aspire to science communication. He's always one of the people that I looked up to. And he's also the most visible disabled scientist that I know of, if not the only one that I know of. And it's kind of funny for me to think about Stephen Hawking as a disabled person. I grew up thinking about him that he's funny, he is brilliant, and the fact that he sits on this wheelchair and speak is in this mechanical voice kind of more like added to that allure than making me think, oh, this person is so unfortunate he's disabled. I just think that's Stephen, that is so cool because he's cool. I've actually only started thinking about disability when my migraine starts getting really, really bad. So I know migraine itself is not considered a disability legally anywhere, but it does mean that I have days where I cannot read anything. Like the symbols on the page are really just squiggles. And if I can't put it together into a sentence. If you speak to me, I won't be able to understand what you're saying. And I won't be able to articulate what I'm thinking. Actually, sometimes even having a thought hurts very badly. Right now, I'm still able to manage my work commitment and life commitment quite okay. Even though with all those coming in, unpredictably, because it comes with the weather, which is not entirely predictable here. But migraine is progressive and it's uncurable. So, my future doesn't look very bright on that part, huh? So while migraine itself is not a disability, it starts to make me think about the experience of disabled people. Because honestly, I'll admit to be a jackass for never thinking about what, the experience of another person who is so different from me is like. But I think part of it is kind of like the physicist brain in me, because what do we mean when we say somebody is disabled? For legal purposes, there are criteria in which would make you classified as a disabled or, an abled person, but those are devised for specific reasons. In some sense, it's arbitrary because disabled people also have things that they are able to do. For example, one of my favorite jazz pianists ever, Art Tatum, was blind. He was able to see some light, but he was legally blind. Still, he's one of the greatest jazz pianists that ever was, if not one of the greatest pianists that ever was. Or Temple Grandin, who was diagnosed with autism, which in some people's mind is a disability. I profoundly disagree, especially because she has a wonderful life, a very productive life. She is respected in her field. She has done great work. She also speaks out about autism and what it is like from, the inside, from being one of them. She has a PhD. It's like she has a better life than I have. And of course, Stephen Hawking, having ALS, being unable to walk or move or speak, doesn't mean he is unable to have great ideas or do great things. But of course, one of the reasons that they're able to be so successful and so productive is because the community has accommodated for the hoops they can't jump themselves. So it seems to me that, ability and disability is kind of something that's on a spectrum. And it's also not just like this one-dimensional spectrum. It's like this multi-dimensional spectrums of, multi-dimensional things that society expects us to be able to do. And if that shortcoming is not on the axes that are definitive to that career, I don't see why the community shouldn't accommodate for that so that person can continue to be a productive member of their community. And that's actually what I worry the most about being in the scientific and research community and planning to continue in academia, is that there's a lot of talk about what we can do, a lot of demand of being productive, being smart, being able to complete all the paperworks that we need and travel and all those kinds of things. But we don't really talk about how we can accommodate for the members of our community who might not be able to fulfill all those demands that, we as a group of people actually put on ourselves. Like, I look online a little bit about being disabled in academia, and all the stories I got are really, really discouraging. Every time I see one of those stories, it makes me wonder whether we will have another Professor Stephen Hawkins, or if his counterpart would have just given up. I'll talk to you guys later.